Okay,
Because
let me in fact quickly address some more news coming in regarding Canada as well now. Canada has lifted tariffs on US goods as a sign of goodwill aimed at resuming trade talks that have stalled. Canadian tariffs on goods that are compliant with the US-Mexico-Canada agreement will be lifted under the move, while tariffs imposed on US autos, steel and aluminium will remain in effect for now. Let's listen into what Mark Carney, Prime Minister of Canada, has said.
In this context, and consistent with Canada's commitment to CUSMA, I'm announcing today that the Canadian government will now match the United States by removing all of Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods specifically covered under CUSMA. The situation we're in now is that Canada and the United States have reestablished free trade for the vast majority of our goods. Canada will retain our tariffs on steel, aluminum, and autos as we work intensively with the United States to resolve the issues there. Indeed, our focus is squarely on these strategic sectors and the future. Canada currently has the best trade deal with the United States. And while it's different from what we had before, it is still better than that of any other country.
Sumit Peer, Canada seeking to come to a trade deal lifts tariffs on US goods. What do you make of this?
Uday, it's a very interesting event which has occurred because let me clarify one thing. When I said last time that India's exports to US are 40 billion, approximately 40 billion are the exports which are impacted by tariff. Out of 80 billion, there are some sectors which they have let go. The impact is on only 40 billions out of 80 billion. So let me try to put the things in context. Now, answering your question very specifically, Uday, look, Canadian economy is dependent on American economy. Canada and America are kind of bound with a lot of trade things. There are a lot of industry, automobile and all, which are moving from America to Canada. So America was going to lose all the way. On the most important thing about that is that because even if you look at the bigger geopolitical paradigms and the security of the Canada, which is also greatly dependent on United States of America. So if Canada says I'm going to reverse my tariffs and I'm not going to have a retrospective tariff on America, that is for their geopolitics. And even our External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar is clear. We are open to talks, we are open to discussion, but there are some red lines which we are not willing to cross. But if you want to thrust your weight and tell no, I want this to be done, well, like farmers, like dairy, like those genetically modified crops, like SMEs and some other areas which we are not open to you, but we are not open to anybody else. There are 16 FTAs which we are negotiating right now, and these condition is applicable to each and everybody. So it's not something we are trying to impose on Americans only. We are also open to trade. We are willing to negotiate. But if yesterday Caroline Levitt was talking of sanctions on India. Today you're talking of, if the Russia and Ukraine deal doesn't happen, I'm going to have those super tariffs and super sanctions. You are hinting. Peter Navarro is hinting at secondary tariffs. Lindsey Graham is hinting at secondary tariffs. Now, what do we get if we look at what Trump is saying, if we look at what Caroline Levitt is saying, what Lindsey Graham is saying, and Navarro is saying, they're talking of tariffs. And what is Peter Navarro saying today? India is the laundry mart of Russian money. I mean, why doesn't that logic apply to China when they have no answers? And out of the Russian money we have, thousands of crores is sitting in our escrow account in the State Bank of India or in a Punjab National Bank. I don't know where do the Americans get this logic that we are the laundry mart of the Russian money. And when Dr. Jaishankar clearly asked the question, it's you Americans who told us buy the Russian oil to keep the oil prices stable. And we are not the biggest buyer of the oil is China. Biggest buyer of LNG is European Union. And the people who have benefited maximum out of the Russian trade are the countries in the south, not India. And by the way, we are also buying a lot of American oil products or energy products, around $8 billion. So why are you singling out India and why are you letting the autocratic China go? That is a question which doesn't beat any logic. I mean, unless and until it's personal, unless and until Trump thinks he's been humiliated or he is being insulted because he tried to say, I stopped the nuclear war. Well, there was no nuclear war which was happening. And if you want to interfere in the India's sovereignty, foreign policy, economic policy, monetary policy, and India.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.